ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। शुद्धस्फटिकसङ्काशं शुद्धविद्याप्रदायकं शुद्धं पूर्णं चिदानन्दं सदाशिवमहं श्रये। शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तं पङ्कीकृतमभूद्यया किं करीयस्य सा माया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। भारती करुणापात्रं भारतीपदभूषणं भारतीपदमारूढं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये। विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विधुशेखरभारतीं। मालासुधाकुम्भविबोधमुद्रा विद्याविराजत्करवारिजाताम् अपारकारुण्यसुधाम्बुराशिं श्रीशारदाम्बां प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्। ओम। In the previous chapters, we saw Purusharthas, group of fourfold human being goals. Then we saw Shastram, that is scriptural literature, how it helps us in fulfillment of human goals. Then the last one we saw was Varna Vyavastha and Ashrama Vyavastha, a scriptural infrastructure for the upliftment, harmony of society as well as individuals. Now we will see the course of discipline. In the following sessions, we will see the course of discipline prescribed by our scriptures, once again for the accomplishment of fourfold human goals. Our Shastras are so compassionate to include material pursuits as well as spiritual pursuit in helping us accomplishing the goals. All the human accomplishments should finally culminate into Moksha Purushartham. Without moksha, life is incomplete. Material accomplishments are fine, but they are secondary byproducts as far as scriptures are concerned. Only Moksha Purushartha, that is spiritual accomplishment, is the primary and ultimate goal of a human being. Moksha only gives us the fulfillment at the time of death. Otherwise, there will only be wants and regrets. They will only remain with us. Now we will see what are the course of discipline prescribed by the scriptures. Course of discipline is called sadhana. Sadhana or sadhanam, both are same. In order to accomplish a goal, we have to travel a path of discipline. So here goal is called sadhyam. To achieve sadhyam, that is goal, we take to course of discipline called sadhana. When we take to these disciplines, we are called sadhakas. Once we accomplish the sadhyam, that is the goal, we will be called siddha. We become siddha. Sadhaka through sadhana will achieve sadhyam, will become siddha. So sadhaka to siddha is our life journey. Siddha doesn't mean that you will have supernatural powers, miraculous powers, etc. That is indicating a person will be at complete ease with oneself. He doesn't require any other second object to feel the fulfillment. Sadhaka through sadhana. So here, the entire course of sadhana can be broadly classified or divided into 3 stages or 3 levels. Each level being called yoga. Very word yoga means that which connects sadhaka and sadhyam. that is seeker and sought. Yoga is derived from the root yuj, to combine, to connect, or to unite. 3 levels of sadhanam are karma yoga, upasana yoga, and jnana yoga. We can call these as 3-stepped staircase, 3 floors, which any person should cross over to reach the top floor. These 3 yogas or course of discipline are not alternative, or they are not optional methods. All 3 are compulsory, all 3 are important, necessary for all human beings to follow. So we cannot say, I will follow karma yoga, you will take up upasana yoga, and the third person can take jnana yoga, and all of us will get moksham. It is not possible at all. One has to travel all 3 disciplines in the sequential order: karma yoga, upasana yoga, and finally jnana yoga. Now we will see what is karma yoga. Karma yoga here is a compound word, karma plus yoga. Karma means proper action, and yoga in this context, proper attitude, that is proper state of mind. So combining these two, doing proper actions with proper attitude is called karma yoga. All our actions can be broadly divided into 3 categories based on their spiritual influence on a human being, because scriptures consider the spiritual goal and the spiritual personality as the most important thing. It does not take material aspects into account at all. Sattvika karma is called uttama karma, and then madhyama karma is called rajasa karma. The third one is adhama karmani, that is tamasa karma. These 3 are included in karma yoga. Karmas include these 3. Sattvika karma, that is uttama karmani, which have maximum spiritual influence on human being. Bhagavan Krishna in his Bhagavad Gita has elaborated in 17th and 18th chapter about this Sattvika karmani. Rajasa karmani are the intermediary ones, that is mediocre one. These actions which have limited or nil spiritual influence on a human being. They may have a lot of materialistic benefits, no doubt about it. They may bring lot of material comforts, entertainment, etc. But scriptures do not recognize materialistic aspect. The last one is adhama karmani, tamasa karma. These actions which have negative impact on the spiritual growth of a human being. These actions will cause spiritual downfall, retrogression instead of progression. Now we will see Sattvika karma. We have to spend more time in Sattvika karma because this is very important, and this alone will have maximum spiritual influence. All paropakara karmani, para upakara karmani, all those actions which will benefit maximum number of beings, not only human beings but also plants, animals, trees, fauna, the whole environment. All paropakara karmas are greatly praised in our scriptures. All the punya karma, noble karma, elevating karmas are called paropakara karma because they are helping others. Paropakara means helping others. Here you give, you contribute more to the society and take very little from the society. Our culture is a giving culture, Danam, Yagam culture, based culture. It is not a grabbing culture. Materialistic culture is grabbing, where there will be maximum consumption by a person. Here we believe in contributing to the society. Paropakara karma is also called Nishkama karma. So we have Satvika karma, Uttama karmani, Paropakara karmani and Nishkama karmani. All these are synonymous. These contribute maximum to one's spiritual growth. What is Nishkama karma? These are the karmas, whether you like or you do not like, one has to perform these karmas because one has to grow in a spiritual ladder. It is not your likes or dislikes based. So therefore it is Nishkama karma, where the spiritual benefit is the maximum. If you like doing these karmas, wonderful. If one doesn't like, he better starts liking it, because these karmas are very important and compulsory ones. First one is, okay, also we do not know what are these Paropakara karma. So scriptures help us in identifying this Paropakara karma. These karmas are called Panchamaha Yajna. Very difficult to translate the word Yajnaha into English. Therefore, we will retain this Yajna in our future descriptions also, future sessions also. Perhaps we can say Yajnaha will be gratitude plus Upakara. To some extent we can say this is Yajna. In all the fivefold Yajnas, we contribute to the welfare of the world, not for individual or his family's growth. First is Deva Yajna. Deva Yajna is worship and prayer of God in any form. Maybe one can go to temple, pray Bhagavan there. He can do puja at home. He can have a picture of God. He can have Panchayatana puja at home. He can do Yajna. Varieties of worship is available to human beings. Otherwise, very simple form of prayer or Deva Yajna will be, I just stand in front of Ishta Devata, maybe picture, we can say picture at home, Lord Rama or Krishna or Saraswati or any Ishta Devata. The important point is, I have to have my full and total heart, and then I have to utter a prayer. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha go brahmanebhyah subhamastu nityam. Even if one doesn't know these sentences, at least the last one, lokaha samastaha sukinaha bhavantu. This is very important statement. That is, we pray for the well-being of the entire universe. Loka samasta sukino bhavantu. A sincere, heartfelt, deep prayer is the most powerful contribution one can think of giving to the society. This will not only help humanity, all human beings, wherever we live, but it will help all the 14 lokas, plant, trees, animals. This prayer is for the well-being of all. It can be in any language, need not be in Sanskrit. If you know Sanskrit, if you are very familiar, nothing like it. Otherwise, it can be in your mother tongue also. Greatest contribution to the creation. This is very powerful prayer, Manasam Karma. This is the most extensive and least expensive form of prayer, Paropakaram. My expenditure is all what? A few minutes of time, a few words, but sincere most heart is required. This is the bottom line of this. Sincere most heart, it should come out. Along with the prayer, if you can offer something to the Lord, some banana or camphor, etc., it should be very good. Whatever you offer, this offering will be redistributed to the entire Jagat, entire creation by the Lord. Because God does not depend on our old 5 rupees note or 10 rupees note or 2 inches banana or a camphor, that also half broken camphor. He is not bothered about this thing at all. But God has a trust called universal trust, and He is the trustee. Whatever you offer to Lord with utmost sincere most heart, in any puja or abhishekam, nothing will be wasted. All the offerings will be taken by Ishvara, and through the universal trust, He will redistribute to the whole creation, human beings, plant, animals, the whole human beings, the whole Jagat, He will distribute. It is God's responsibility, so we need not worry about it. He will take care of that. So, seva or offering made to Lord will ultimately benefit the humanity also. Nowadays, some people, social workers, some people feel that this is a very less important job, that is prayer offered to God, going to temple. They look down upon religious people doing pujas or karmas at home, people who go to temple and pray. They feel you people are small. I am doing the best service. I am doing service to the humanity. You see, I am doing a lot of social service, helping poor people, helping needy people, all those things they say. And they also say, why they say the concept is very good. They say Manava Seva is equal to Madhava Seva. So they feel whatever they do service to the human beings will reach Bhagavan. So this is their concept. Concept wise it is good. But they cannot demean the Deva Yajna, religious worship, because everything is important. See, because they do not understand the concept. The concept is, the fact of the matter is, if you do puja to Bhagavan, your offering will be distributed to the whole humanity, whereas these people do service only to a small section of human beings. Therefore, because God is supreme, He knows what He is doing, and He will take care of all the species. So Deva Yajna is much more important. Manushya Yajna is also important, which we will see later, but Deva Yajna is at most important. Therefore, people who do social service should not look down upon people who do prayers to the welfare of the entire Jagat. Then the next in line will be Pitri Yajnaha. That is my way of expressing my gratitude to all my forefathers, ancestors, because of whom I am here. If parents are alive, respect them, help them, take care of them. Scriptures prescribe certain Pitru karmas like Tarpanam, Shraddham for the deceased ancestors and forefathers. So one has to do this Tarpanam and Shraddham to satisfy the Pitrus. This is also a Paropakara karma. People may ask how it can be called Paropakaram. You are doing only for your forefathers, so how can you say this is Paropakaram? Valid question. But in all the Pitru karmas, there is an important contribution which we make, which goes to a special fund called Ancestors Relief Fund, like Prime Minister's Relief Fund. So this is called Ancestors Relief Fund, since there are many ancestors who do not get any offering from their children. They either because they don't have children, or they have children but they do not believe in doing karmas like tarpanam or shraddham. So these are like orphaned ancestors who could not get any offerings because of ungrateful children. For all such ancestors, I offer my offering, my prayers, my offering will go and reach them also. Therefore, doing shraddham and tarpanam are all paropakaram only. Since ancestors also are a vast community, they say once a person dies, he joins with majority. So it can be considered as thanksgiving and paropakara karma. I think I am running out of time. So today I will stop with this. So the next session we will see the other three of Panchamahayajnas, that is Brahma Yajnam, Manushya Yajnam and Bhuta Yajnam, and then other things. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Thank you.